Hey guys, welcome to the Solo Post. My name is Rob.
My name is Joel, the light side guy. I want to give a quick shout out first to Zachary for sending over this beautiful pin that he got over the holiday season. Um, the irony behind it, Darth Vader, Boba Fett, and some stormtroopers singing Christmas carols. What do you think about that, Rob?
That is a Kodak moment in itself, especially hearing Darth Vader sing. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
That would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Zach. That is awesome. That's an awesome gift.
Thank you, man.
So we have much to dive into today. Much Star Wars news, much Star Wars content that we have covered during the week. So today we are going to be catching you guys up on that. So let's dive right into it. Joel, take it
For
away.
sure. So we've been hearing, again, these are rumors and some people posting it throughout the internet about Galaxy's Edge doing an expansion. Now we knew that this was coming, but we didn't know where and when, when it was going to happen. So they're speculating between now and 2027. Again, hoping that it is sooner than that. We get that expansion, new characters. I mean, there's a whole bunch of new things that can happen there.
Yeah, and I mean, hopefully it's sooner, especially with Galaxy's Edge coming to us so quick. I mean, again, who's to say that the Imagineers didn't have this plan since like who knows, early to like mid 2000s or something. But you know,
For
I
sure.
I think it's something that will come quick, a lot quicker. I think 2027 is probably just like a number they just like, hey, here it is. Like this is the timeline. But it's probably going to be done sooner, which would be great. But other if not, hey, we're here. We're
I
here to
mean,
enjoy Galaxy's Edge.
yeah, I mean the assumption behind it also is because they're building a hotel that
Yeah,
connects into the park. So the idea behind it is to also have a easy transition through parks, and
yeah.
also have an addition where there have maybe a restaurant,
Yeah,
um,
that'd be cool. I
something
mean,
like that, or something, or even
yeah,
more attractions.
yeah. I mean, I think that'd be really, really cool. Especially with like the expansion on it. I mean, with especially with the hotels, the resorts. I want to see. Like, I know we saw a little bit of it on Instagram, which is really, really cool,
Yeah.
guys. If you can too, follow us at the Solos Post on Instagram. We will put that down below. We saw some pictures, guys, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it looks really, really cool, and it looks really nice how they did it. Well, the idea of it looks really
For
good.
sure. For
You know,
sure. I mean, there's just so much things that are going to be happening.
yeah,
The opening, hopefully this summer or this fall, of the Starship,
yes.
where we get a super immersed hotel where the moment you leave into the lobby, it shoots you into space. It gives you the whole realm that you're in, almost like a space station. You're living, you don't even see outside, you see a whole galaxy, see different planets. You
That's really
feel,
cool.
yeah, you get the immersed feeling that you're actually there. And then when you leave the hotel into the parks, it drops you down, almost like these transmitter or these ships that keep on coming from transit from the station down to Batu. So that's going to be a cool transition. And then now to hear that they're going to maybe change the park up a little bit,
Yeah,
change characters, Mandalorian, Grogu, maybe add different characters. Maybe we'll see Thawne.
that would be
That would
really
be
cool.
cool.
That
So
would be cool. But I guess that's why they gave us that timeline of 2027 because since they have all these shows and we are supposed to be getting a Thon show, if I'm not mistaken, right?
um,
It's
possibly.
it's in the talks. I mean,
Yeah.
from what we're
I
hearing,
mean, I know there was a book about it. So
yeah, I think they'll bring it. I mean, I know that he is supposed to fall in the timeline with Ahsoka. I do
well,
know
we know that. Yeah,
that that
we
we
know
do
that now.
know.
We
You
know
know,
that he's probably going to be most likely either in the first season of Ahsoka, or he'll either be in the beginning of the second season.
yeah,
Most likely, we'll get him at the end of Ahsoka,
yeah,
or I mean, hopefully sooner, but who knows?
yeah. I mean, and I think that'll be good. And that's a whole nother topic too with Thon. Talking about Robert Downey Jr. That's pretty big news. Yeah,
I
hearing
was
about
hoping we got Cumberbatch. I want
yes,
Cumberbatch.
yes, that's another one too. Yes, we do have
Yeah,
Cumberbatch. So I guess we'll see what happens. We'll see who gets the role. But yeah, no, I mean, guys, with these updates on the parks, I think it'll be pretty cool. I think with the change. adding characters from the Mandalorian. I think it's gonna be cool. I really do believe it's gonna be
Yeah, I
something.
mean, and there's only like slight changes you have to do for that. I mean,
Yeah,
of
you don't have
course,
to do
take
much.
out,
Well,
yeah,
I
take out
want
some characters, of course. You know, you got to take out the Skywalker saga type of characters. You know, you got to take
right.
away Kylo, you got to take away Rey,
Yeah.
you got to take away BB. Unfortunately, we all like the BB units and stuff like that. I think it's a cool character.
But who's
Of
to
course,
say they
there's some characters we got to get rid of, and honestly, at the end of the day, like we can see them somewhere else. We don't have to see them in Galaxy's Edge. So if they change that up, we could see those characters in Star Tours.
won't?
We could see them in the front of the park, like they do those little Star Wars shows,
Yeah.
where you see all the bads and all the good and Chewbacca and everybody there.
Yeah.
We can get them there, but if they're gonna switch out things in Galaxy's Edge, personally speaking, I think there's just things that have to make sense.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. I mean, I definitely agree with you. Who's to say? I mean, they won't expand on the park as well, though. Who's to say they won't? Maybe they'll give us something with the Mandalorian and give us its own theme park. Who knows? I mean, you never know. You never.
Honestly, that's the other thing that I've been thinking about. Like, okay, so we have the Millennium Falcon,
Right.
cool. Smugglers Run, Millennium Falcon, whatever ride. I get the name, I get all this stuff, but why don't they just throw in one mission that doesn't have to do with the Millennium Falcon? It just has to do with the cockpit and has to do with shooting and all this stuff, and that gives us a Mandalorian feel.
Yeah.
Or maybe maybe we keep the Millennium Falcon. We know that Han Solo, Chewie, Lando, and all these characters are still alive in that timeline.
Yeah.
So if we know that and we assume that they're still alive, and hopefully we get to see something like that, that'd be cool.
Absolutely.
But if we get to see it in one of these movies, these shows, the cool part about it is that they can integrate it into the park still
Yeah.
within the timeline, and give us different scenarios within that ride. So instead of us going and smuggling whatever crates they want us to smuggle, we can start shooting. We can start shooting other like have wars and have this and maybe like three different things. So every time or every other time you get on the ride, you have a new scenery, a new projection.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I definitely believe that they should do that. I mean, they have so. I mean, we all know Disney has money, So I do believe that they can add different. I mean, who's to say they won't even, put, Mando's ship there? I think that would be really cool too. Add that as another attraction. Like,
That I mean that it's not that it's not doable. I mean, we know that they put a lot of time and effort. I mean, we saw the video today,
yes,
where they spoke about specifics about they did things in that park specifically for the future of Star Wars. They knew that there was potential for things to change. They knew, so like, even though that video didn't specify that they were going to change the park or change anything around, it just seems like they have something planned, and they just, of
yeah.
course, are not ready yet to say anything.
I think what what they built was a test run. I think they knew that it was going to be for the long haul, but I think it was a test run to see how far it can go. And now, okay, we have this platform. Now we can expand on it because I don't think they're gonna keep what they have and just keep it as is. I think they will
Yeah.
expand, and I don't think they'll get rid of. I think the characters, yes, because that's what we've
Mhm.
been hearing for the past month. I would say, even since I would say a couple
I think
months.
since like September. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I would say for a couple months they've been talking about it, but now I mean you kind of heard it where they're kind of like really
Mhm.
making it concrete, like, hey, this is the route we're going. The Mandalorian season 2 is done. This is the future of Star Wars. This is
Yeah.
what the investors were talking about. This
Yeah.
is where they have their sights on. So I do believe that. I do believe that they will expand.
And it's such a big ticketed character. Like it's such a big ticketed
yes,
park.
yeah,
Like it's a park where I personally I used to go to Disney. I mean I still do go to Disney a lot, but I used to go to Disney to Hollywood Studios when it was like you can get on anything and everything and leave at 12 o'clock. Get there at 9, park opens, leave at 12 in the afternoon. Like that, it just wasn't a popular park. Of course, Toy Story Land opened up, Galaxy's Edge opened up, and that brought more people
attract.
to the park.
Yeah,
But then they had rides like Smuggler Run. A Smuggler's Run, like it's an awesome ride. I don't have any really complaints because I don't go to the park as frequently as somebody that lives next to Anaheim or that lives next to Orlando.
yeah,
So I can see how it can be boring after a while doing the
of course.
same mission.
Yeah,
Um, but I mean, they did promise us different missions, but we're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
But I can see where it gets boring. I can see where a change needs to be done. I
I
can see that.
I just feel like it's been the same. I guess that's why there's such room for change right now, because I guess we've had it for so long already, and it's just been the same thing. And you got to remember, there's that's still in the Skywalker era. So in
Hmm.
general, we've had that era for so long that I feel like people want something different already. You
Yeah,
know,
for
and,
sure.
and I think that's why there's so much talk of change, because people are just getting kind of tired of, all right, we've seen Chewie, we've seen, Han Solo, we've seen Ray, we've seen Kylo, and obviously the backlash on those movies haven't helped. So I feel like that's why there's so much room now, and there's a need for change, especially
Yeah, I
with.
mean, there was just so much that was planned at the beginning
Yeah.
of the park that we were anticipating. Um,
Well, the movies really promoted it. That was really what it is. If
well, no, I mean, in general, dude, like we were supposed to get animatronics walking around the park.
yeah,
Like, if you didn't know, like we were gonna get like huge, like um, I can't think of the name of the animal right now, but you know the animal in the Mandalorian when he's on the planet, he's like on this big buffalo type of style animal
right,
that's like
yes, yes,
shredded.
yes,
So that was supposed to be walking around the park.
yeah.
Like they were really going in. Like the concept of what that too was supposed to be was gonna be like, dude, like this is insane. Like to see all these different characters, to see all these different animatronics walking around,
Yeah.
like
I
it
just
was a cool concept,
it,
and they just
they didn't.
they missed the mark.
Yeah, and that's why I said, I think I go back to what I said before. I just believe, and guys, don't forget, you guys can always comment below and give your thoughts and opinions as well. To be honest, I just think that they just gave us something and wanted to see what would come out of that. And I think that's why now we have the high need and demand for something different. And I think that's why it goes back to what you said,
Well, let's go into this real quick. The Mandalorian, a new character, a new timeline. So we know we have to get rid of. We know we have to get rid of that. Okay, we have the Mandalorian walking around the park. We have new paint job. We have whatever.
right?
Right, we have that. How are we going to do Grogu?
Yeah.
How do you feel Grogu is going to be in the park? Do you feel like he's gonna? I mean, personally speaking, how do you feel like Disney's gonna do Grogu for a meet and greet?
I mean, I feel like, to be honest, I mean, I wouldn't put him in the satchel like the way he had him in the show. I mean, I would put him in his little pod. Honestly, my opinion, I would want to see him in a pod. I thought that was how we got introduced to him. I want to see him in that pod. I mean, day one, I want to see Grogu in that pod, like hovering with nothing. Like, I want it to be that he's in the air. Either he could be connected
Okay,
wirely or something just hidden. But I think that's the route they need to give us something like hitting hard,
so
hard.
let's go into technology, right?
Right,
Um, the R2 unit, the BB unit, right?
right,
We know that they're roaming characters in the park already.
right.
So we know that we have the technology for that to roam around the park with nobody controlling them except for a computer chip behind the scenes.
Yeah,
So we know that they have their own routes, they have these following procedures. We know that they have that. For me, although it would be cool to see Grogu inside of a pod, for me, I feel like that's a lot of work for them to reconstruct floor, to reconstruct the whole, just the walking area,
yeah.
put plates under it just for Grogu. Like, although we know that's going to make money, we know that's going to
I
bring people and attract people.
I
I
think,
just feel like that's a lot.
my opinion, I do agree with you. I don't disagree with you, but I also feel, as fans, this is something that I feel like, if
Yeah.
they've invested so much into it, why not just do that? Why
Yeah. I
not
mean,
do that? I mean,
again, I think it would look cool. I
yeah.
just feel like there's other ways that we can
Oh, hands
incorporate that.
down. I mean, listen, I think for the fans, listen, at the end of the day, I think it all comes down to this. We need Grogu there. That's
Yeah.
that's really the
I
bottom
just don't want to see a stroller.
line. I don't
Like, I
you
don't
see,
want to see somebody behind Mandalorian literally holding a stroller and this pod with, like, although it'd still
Hold
be
on, wait a minute, wait
cool.
a minute, wait a minute.
I don't want to see that.
This is the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, like I don't want to see Daddy Mandalorian. Like
Nah,
I just want to see I love to see a pod floating, but I mean the odds of that happening is like,
it's a none. But
super low.
who said
But we
that's
can also get like, okay, so like Universal has these dinosaurs that it looks like somebody's holding them. But really what's happening is a guy's hand is inside a dinosaur while this prop hand is here and it looks like it's holding the dinosaur.
right?
And so he's a dinosaur with his hand, of course, and these little robotic things that he has in his hand. So it looks totally real.
Yeah,
So we can probably have the Mandalorian in that sense of doing holding Grogu.
yeah.
So kind of having kind of like a puppet type of thing going on where it looks real to the point where it looks real, like the dinosaurs in Universal. Um, so we can have that. Or maybe have Grogu in an actual place. So in a place where you're like, okay, we have to go meet Mandalorian and Grogu here to take pictures.
I think
That would suck because you don't get to walking around the park, but you'll see him in a place like that. Like you see BB-8, you can go take pictures of him either in the park because he rolls around, or you
right.
can go inside one of those pods. You can go inside and he's sitting there with R2 and blah blah blah. And you can take
Yeah.
pictures there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I think it. Listen, do I think that the money is there? Yes. It all goes back to now. Will they do that? That we do.
Would they shut down the park just for that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be 100% honest with you. Right now would be that time. This is the best time to do it.
Maybe in
Because,
California, not in Florida. They're making money in Florida. They're open.
yeah, Florida. But I mean, but try it out. See which park is selling the most. Okay, so as we said,
We know Disney World is selling the most.
I'm sorry.
I said I don't mean to cut you off, but Disney World is definitely selling the most.
No, and that's fine. I mean, that's totally fine. So let's cut one out. All right, Cali's not making the most. Cool. California, that's the experiment. That's what we're gonna. That's what we're gonna take it. We're gonna
Then
experiment.
I just feel like that's not fair. They promised us 2 parks around the same time to be open. They opened both parks at the same time. Then they're gonna off. Then they're gonna do construction and then only offer it in one park. Like I get it. Like that's what they're doing with the Avengers, but like
Yeah,
that's just too much for me.
it is. I mean, look, I think it's all trial and error. I think that who's to say, yeah, we can't get it. We can get it in Disneyland, but not Disney World. But I think if they see that it grows and it expands, and I think, look, at the end of the day, Disney World is always going to be the capital. That's going to be where it's at. I think people love. I mean, who doesn't love Florida? I mean, I love Florida. So, I think it will get incorporated. I mean, who's to say they can't do it at the same time? Just one opens up before the other, and
Good.
you could do it that way. That's a route to go. But I mean, listen, I would love for it to be in Disney World as well.
Mhm.
I think that would be really well. Good.
Yeah, I agree. Other things. I mean, we can get room around characters like Thawne.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
think
another character that I feel like, of course, to build the fan base behind it. There are people like us that already know who he is and
yes.
what he stands for.
Yeah,
So we know who he is, right? But there are other people that don't know who he is. So I feel like if they're gonna bring Thawne into this, they're gonna have to
that
bring him into the shows first before they bring him into the parks. So
yeah,
that 2027 mark is looking a little bit more realistic because of that.
yeah,
But then we can have Moff Gideon at the park.
that would be something interesting to have.
We
Yeah,
can have Bo-Katan at the park.
yeah, we can.
We can have the whole Legion of the Mandalore.
Yeah, and
Um,
and oh, this one would be cool to see the Bad Batch. How interesting
uh,
would that be?
it would be cool. It would be cool to see all these different characters in the park. Now that makes it more relevant to us,
It does.
to the kids nowadays that are watching these shows.
Yeah,
My daughter's she's 3 years old right now. And she loves watching these shows. Honestly, she watches the Clone Wars with me, laughing and screaming and saying, "Oh no!" So I just feel like, yeah, they're probably gonna have
no.
more connection. Yeah, and I feel like there's gonna just be more of a connection there. So, yeah, we have all these different things happening.
Yeah,
But besides the characters, let's talk about the rides, right? So, we have Smuggler's Run.
Yeah.
And then we have one of the coolest rides I think in the entire world, Rides of the Resistance.
That is a ride.
Probably the best dark ride I've ever been on, and I probably would say probably the best ride in the world, as rated by many.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, personally speaking, there's going to be a couple of changes that need to happen in that ride. One is, first of all, they promised that we get the Millennium Falcon, but no Han Solo. So that's a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah. That
So
I didn't
now
understand.
we know. Yeah, I mean, they never gave us to us. They gave us Chewbacca, and they gave us this guy, the pirate, Hondo.
Oh, Hondo.
Yeah, so
But
they
not
give us
even,
Hondo.
you know what's funny? Not even Lando. And now he has his own, coming out with the own show. So that's,
Yeah, so this is the thing, right?
yeah.
Mandalorian is in the same timeline as Han Solo and Chewbacca being alive.
Right.
Lando's still alive. All you have to do is just show us them on screen,
And
and then
give us
give us them on the ride.
yeah.
Have have that on the ride. Maybe a younger.
A remake version
It
of it?
it might not be Childish Gambino. It might be not be Gambino. It might not be this guy that played Han Solo, the young version.
Yeah.
But I mean, it could still be one of those characters that walk around the park. And then it could be also this different projection screens to give us different missions. You know, like every so often you go on the ride, every 2-3 times you go on the ride, or whatever random decision they want to give us to go on that ride,
Yeah.
we can get a different mission, like they promised.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things. It's like, you know, they promise, but that's the thing. They've failed on that, you know, and
This is their chance to change.
yeah. And I mean, I do, and that's why I say this is the time to do it, because right now, even though Florida, you know, Disney World is excelling and they're hitting their numbers, it's still not the norm. And I feel like this is the time to capitalize on that. You have all these shows coming on, and again, I guess, you know, they give that timeline of 2027, you know, to capitalize on it, and that's why I guess they want to kind of finish the park by then. But why wait? Why wait? Take advantage of it now. You have so much. Capitalizing on it now and just do it.
I also believe like Disney's such an activist when it comes to like, or not activists. I guess they're very cautious
Yes.
with this COVID. Um, from what I know, um, it is taking them a little bit longer to do Tron, the ride,
Oh,
um,
that's
and other rides that they have going on. So I do see like
the
it can
problem.
probably be a problem doing it around this time.
I could see
Um,
it, but I also see like they're still doing things. They're still building. I mean, they're still doing things behind the scenes. And
for sure, I don't think they're not. I think they already have this planned out.
yeah,
Again, I think all these rumors are just coming up just for hype. Are they going to do it?
you see,
They're going to capitalize on it for
yeah,
sure.
I think the rumors, like we say, it's hype, but I do believe that this is to see how the fans react, to see us how we react, and if they see that, hey, whoa, we got a lot of like, you know, positive feedback on this. Okay, we need to make the next step. Here it is now.
Now again, I know many people out there are like, dude, Skywalker Saga, like we love this guy, we love that and that thing. But we can get the young Luke Skywalker walking around the park too, since we saw them in the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
So he can be a special guest, like they have all the other characters in the
right.
park, like Once in a Blue. But let's jump into the other ride, Rise of the Resistance.
Yes.
Favorite ride. Uh, personally speaking, that one might be a little bit tougher to change. Um, there are things in that ride that unfortunately have to be reworked in a big way
So, like
to
for
make
example,
sense in that
like
in
so,
that timeline.
what are you looking for it to change? Like in what aspect?
Okay,
Add it.
so I mean, first thing is first, we have Finn in that ride, right? Like we have to change skins. Like of course we know we have to change these animatronics to other characters.
Correct.
But it has to make sense now. Like now that timeline has to make sense.
Right.
So changing Finn is not just changing Finn, then it's changing Kylo, and then it's changing all these stormtroopers and all these different things. We need to see this now. So like we need to see these in these shows now.
Yeah.
these shows need to start showing us Star Destroyers and all these different types of ships, and have to give us some type of war so that we can make this really understand and cohesive. That's a ride that like it's so much technology, it's so immersed that it's really cool and it has a great concept, but
Right.
it's really hard to change that quickly unless they had an idea already beforehand.
Well, that's what I'm
And
saying. I believe they did.
it could be, but I just felt like that ride. I'm telling you, Rob, like that ride is so insane,
Yeah.
and it's so themed out so perfectly to the Kylo Ren theme and the Star Destroyer, and you being in prison as a rebel, and this, like, it's so perfectly themed around that storyline, and that's what makes it hard for them to change.
I mean,
But I think it's possible.
yeah, I mean, I do believe that it is possible. I mean, if you see how they really capitalized on the rise of the resistance, you know, I do believe with, again, with the Mandalorian talking about return to the Jedi, that whole timeline, they can do something. There's a lot of room to do things.
But is it relevant? This is the problem.
Is it relevant?
It has to be relevant now.
It is though. It is.
I mean, it
Look at the
again.
timeline that we're talking about. Look at all the shows.
I get the timeline. That I understand,
You're
but
talking
are
about,
kids associating to it now?
no. See, I feel like
Unless, that's why,
you know, I
and
think
that's why the only thing they're associating is to the Skywalker saga of what we know. But we have to. That's why I say, in these new shows that are coming out, give me a war,
yeah.
give me a Star Destroyer, give me all of these things, so that now, like, I can be like, oh, I can see how they can change that.
But you see
And I
that
feel like that's only going to happen if when we see Thawne.
I do believe that. See, this is where I think they went wrong. Now everything is TV show, and I guess that's why Disney's promoting it so much. Like literally, you see Mando is
They're building up to the movies. So are we going to see Thawne in the movie? That's
right.
the problem.
So that's the next thing. The only way you're gonna see that ride change is if we get a movie. Other than that, that's it. TV shows. I don't feel. I mean, do I believe that Ahsoka will be in the park eventually? Yeah, I do believe that. Do I believe all these other characters in the TV shows will be in it? Yes. Do I think now they're gonna give it their own big ride? I mean, no, because you're not.
First-
It's not a movie. You're not
First,
making a movie.
if you give me Ahsoka as a walking character in that park, I am there for the first day. I'm sorry. Let's
No,
make this real. I am married and I love my wife, but I will be at that park the
if
first day.
Rosario Dawson is there playing her.
Nah, I'm not a big, like, I don't think Rosario Dawson is that amazing, but I mean, just the character alone
No, I
just
know.
intrigues me. The storyline, I mean, just that in general.
Her
And
favorite.
she's such a favorite character of mine. Like, I like her so much. Like, I think she's such a genuine character. So cool.
Yeah.
I just like to meet her. I like to take a picture with a fake version of her, but I would like to take a picture with her.
Like that with the lightsabers.
Yeah, I know.
Something like that.
I'll
that would be
holding
awesome.
one of the legacy swords.
Yes.
Hers.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Just ask her if you could borrow hers, and then yeah. No, but that would be
Yeah.
awesome. That'd be great, man. That would be really, really good.
And to be honest with you, bro, like I personally think that, yeah, Disney has probably a lot of this stuff in mind and knows what's gonna happen, and they know what's gonna. Yeah, they know it. They know.
This is all a tease. This is just to get the fans going and just to kind of like rev it up.
And then just drop all of this information like the same week, and the same thing that a lot of things are updating. Like, that to me is just like Disney going like, we got some things.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's been a big week for Disney. I mean, and we'll get into that in another video or this one. There's just so much. I mean, them dropping those bombs and honestly, like, giving us all of that, it's got to mean something. It's just gotta.
Guys, like, I mean, we could talk about this for hours, but I just want to see if you guys have any questions. You guys have any thoughts about what's to come? What do you guys think is going to be implemented in the park? What do you think? Because personally speaking, I don't know what's really going to happen to Rise of the Resistance. I would love to see Thawne. I would love to see all these new characters there. I would love to see if Finn was gone and they moved that animatronic, space that thing out, and put like Ahsoka saving Darth Maul like she did in the show.
Oh, that would be awesome, dude.
You know, like there's just so much stuff that they can do. But if you guys have any ideas out there of what you guys want to see there, what different things you guys can see in Smuggler's Run, different things you can see in Batu in general, the expansion, what else can happen, and what are you guys most excited for that's happening in Galaxy's Edge and at Disney? Let us know down below in the comments.
Yeah.
I'm excited just for the hotel, man. I think I'm excited mostly for that, which I definitely have to go in and say it's going to be expensive, but it's going to be worth it.
It's definitely going to be a hefty penny there. I mean, those.
Yeah, I think a deluxe. I think it's a deluxe hotel. It's one of those that like have like only like 1,300 rooms or like less than that or something like that. It's not that many rooms.
I mean, we saw it. I mean, we saw it on our Instagram account, guys. By the way, follow it. We're going to be posting it down below the solos post. Yeah, we did. We saw some of the pictures and the ideas that the Imagineers have created, and wow, I mean, it looks really to the T. I mean, they really. But you see what I mean? They invested and they had that idea, and like we said, they probably had this idea for years.
Yeah, they announced it in D23 years ago, for a couple of years ago.
It's just, again, it just takes, it takes a long time to.
Especially this one because it's not that it's only immersed, it's other things too. So like hydraulic elevators to make it seem like you're shooting into space and all these different things. So there's a lot that went into this hotel that unfortunately, it did take a little bit longer. But I mean, I think it's like $800 plus a night. Yeah, it's a lot.
I wouldn't even doubt
it. They better give me not only chocolate on my pillows, but like they better give me like some other stuff.
Yeah, at least give me one lightsaber in there just so I can.
Yeah, right.
I feel like if somebody's coming in the room,
I want to pack it when I walk in the room. I want a whole Jedi packet. Give me, instead of a shower robe, I want a Jedi robe. I want a Jedi robe.
Give me the Jedi robe and give me Ahsoka's double hilt that now is green to blue. So that way I can give my wife one lightsaber and I have the other. She could be green, I'll be blue. All right, are you ready to go? Who's coming in the room?
So guys, again, comment down below whatever thoughts you guys have, whatever ideas you guys think, or whatever you guys imagine about that could be happening to the park. And it doesn't have to make sense. We could just talk about it, honestly. Comment down below, hit the like button, hit that notification bell right next to it at the bottom as well, and subscribe to our channel. So guys, may the force be with you, and thank you for coming and tuning into another Solos Post. Peace out.
Later, guys. May the force be with you.